This is a Fox 8 special, the Endymion Parade and Extravaganza, with John Snell and Nancy Parker. Sponsored in part by Hancock Whitney, Beads by the Dozen, and Mardi Gras World.
Good evening. The Super Crew of Endymion has made its way through Mid-City, actually is approaching the Superdome, passing Gallier Hall now. It's breezing through the streets of New Orleans tonight on its way to the biggest party of Mardi Gras, the Endymion Extravaganza, here in the Superdome.
The parade route is packed, and tens of thousands of people have already packed the dome floor. But you know what? We've got you covered. You can see all of the parade from inside and out without even leaving your couch.
Lee Zurich and Shelley Brown are at Gallier Hall, so you can see what it looks like on the street tonight.
And we have it all covered, and if that view isn't enough, check this out. The Fox 8 Storm Tracker is in the parade, so you can feel like you're walking with the crew. Very cool. We're riding right in front of the Talladega College Marching Band.
Rob Krieger and Tiffany Wong are on the dome floor. They will be dodging beads and bringing you all of the excitement of the floats and the bands as they circle through this Superdome this evening.
And of course, Fox 8 Carnival historian Arthur Hardy joins us now with all of his insight into Endymion and the history of the Super Crew.
But as we mentioned, the floats are passing Gallier Hall. Let's go to Shelley and Lee, who are there.
John, Nancy, Arthur, how are y'all? We got float 12 coming in. We should probably get in position to make sure we don't get hit.
Oh my goodness, we can't have our backs turned because these guys are throwing tonight,
They are definitely throwing. It's Endymion, the weather's beautiful outside, and we're going to turn around as you take a look at float number 12. They're moving tonight, Shelley.
They really are. It seems like they haven't had any hiccups. It's been very smooth. And Lee, they couldn't have asked for a better forecast.
See, that is why we turned around, because Shelley's head would have gotten taken off there.
And that was a big bag of beads. All right, these guys are really throwing, and this is hard to reach us right here because we're really heads up.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
There we go.
I think they know that we're on live.
I think they do. Okay, float number 12 wins so far, y'all.
Oh yeah, they're not done yet, Lee.
They are not.
And these crowds are loving it. And they have some gorgeous throws, too. All the kind that light up, the wands, the frisbees. Heads up. We've got footballs, frisbees, wands, you name it. Lee is racking up over here.
Here, let's get John, our photographer, to kind of turn over here. This will just show you.
Can kind of see.
One float.
Let me give you a hand.
Yeah,
okay, there we go. Look at the size of these beads right here.
Oh my goodness. It's pretty good stuff.
Your daughters are going to love this,
They're off to the side, and they're waiting for me right there.
They're itching.
Yes, right. They are itching.
And we've got a band from Clarksdale, Mississippi coming up right now. And this is really so much fun. We're going to let you listen to these guys, but these young students practice all year round, and this is kind of like their stage. So let's go ahead and listen to them. The Marching Tiger Band of Coahoma Community College marching in their second Endymion Parade in 2019. 70-plus strong band powering through the streets of New Orleans.
And I'm getting excited because our next float is Pontchartrain Beach. We should mention, by the way, the theme of this year is Wonder Tales of Science Fiction, Shelley.
I love it.
Yes.
I don't remember Pontchartrain Beach being this far, close up to the beginning. I feel like it's always, they make you wait to the end,
They make you wait for that smell.
Right, yes. You smell the popcorn or the cotton candy.
Exactly, yes.
And that one is a 9-unit float.
Gosh, it debuted in 2013. I remember the year. It seems like it was last year, but it's been that long.
It was 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
It was a big deal then, though, remember? Yeah. And then when it goes through the dome and has to circle around, and you can really see the different units.
$1.5 million, 370 feet long, has 9 individual chassis. Each float depicts an amusement ride at the legendary Pontchartrain Beach in New Orleans. 218 riders. So we got the Zephyr, the Carousel, the Ferris wheel, the Haunted House, Lighthouse, Beach, Music Express, a couple of others.
Do you remember Pontchartrain Beach?
I do. I remember the Zephyr. I was so scared of it.
I think I just missed that.
You did?
I think so.
I do.
Okay, but before Pontchartrain Beach.
Actually, this isn't. It's out of order then, right?
No, it's just a little bit past this.
The band was, okay.
The band was a little bit ahead of schedule,
okay.
which that has been the case tonight. But this is the Palace of Arabian Nights, the arrival of a train. And this looks like a little mini train here.
It does. They're throwing a good bit, too. These floats are incredible when you just seeing them up close like this.
It's like a piece of art on wheels. And you think about the time that goes into preparing these floats. I see some of those yellow flags going.
Yeah, you saw one, huh?
This guy's got a whole handful.
Somebody's
there they
throwing
go.
a penalty flag. Been nice to have that in the dome, huh?
They'll be throwing those like crazy.
Wait till Fat Tuesday, the costumes.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
A lot of referees.
Yes. That guy's got an arm right there.
And the stands here are really full.
Well, the weather, it's a great night tonight. I know our crew in the dome loves it there and everything, and it's a great watching them come in the dome. But on a night like tonight when the weather's perfect, which is great, Shelley, last year, you may remember it rained so much. Really, we had a downpour in the middle of Endymion. So to have weather like this tonight is just, it kind of makes up for last year. I mean, we're in short sleeves. You got your glittery short sleeve shirt on.
And I was asking, where was your glitter?
Yes,
where are your sequins tonight?
David Bernard took my glittery outfit, so he has it.
I mean, Endymion, you've got to step it up. You have to step it up a notch with this super crew. All right, St. Paul's Marching Band out of Covington, Louisiana, stepping in front of Gallier Hall right now. Award-winning, I should say.
They always dance, and they're starting right now. St. Paul does a great job.
I love to see the drum majors, too. I think I just heard the announcer in front of Gallier say that they performed in Iris earlier.
Oh, did they really?
That's
wow.
A lot, because
That's
you think about it, they
yeah.
put in miles just for one parade. If they have to do 2 in one day.
And you got to give credit to the parents walking with them too, right?
Oh, yeah.
But imagine hearing those drums, heavy instruments.
Like I was saying earlier, these guys practice for months leading up to this. This is kind of like a big show for them. Thousands of people in the audience, really.
And we'll get a treat here as we listen to them pass Gallier Hall. All right, Shelley, we're in for a big treat here.
Uh-oh.
Look who's coming over. Hey, John, it's okay. You don't have to worry about strange person here. Look who is with us tonight.
It's okay,
little
my baby.
Quinn.
This is my little sweetie pie.
Can you say hi?
And
look at that.
Say hi, Quinn. This is his second parade.
You want to hold this, Quinn?
He went to the crew of Poseidon in Slidell, and now he's getting the experience in Endymion, and we were a little worried at first, but he's over here dancing.
Look at that
He's
face.
liking the beads. He likes Lee's wife, Jenny. I think
yes.
I have a built-in babysitter, maybe.
She will do it.
One day.
Yes.
I think he likes the microphone.
Who doesn't? Thank goodness he has mom's disposition and not dad's too, right? Sean can't hear me talking about him. It's all right.
He can't hear you, right? Hey, Quinn.
He loves the microphone. He's like, what is this on mommy's hair? I don't understand.
He really likes the sequin blouse, too.
He does?
Yeah.
I love that. That's a nice outfit you got there tonight, Shelley.
Thank you.
Hey, how are you? Oh, look at it. Did you see that? He wanted to come to me.
This.
All right. I'm going to hold Quinn. We're going to toss to the Superdome. John and Nancy, top this. Come on.
And inside the Louisiana Superdome, I think with perhaps a record even when we've had rainy nights, Arthur Hardy.
Right,
the parade is about to begin.
Yes, it is. They're actually inside the building. The United States Marine Corps Color Guard and band will be right behind them.
Each year, the musicians travel all over the United States, entertaining over 6 million people.
Well, we had thought for a while perhaps that they were running a bit late. They kind of had a point in the parade where they had slowed down things.
Quite a long stop.
Somewhere along the line they made up time.
They surely did, and I don't remember them being here this early, maybe ever, huh?
Yeah, but the parade is a little longer this time, is it not? Do they have more units this time?
It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, but they've also learned how to move it more efficiently.
Yes.
And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. This place is packed. I mean, this never gets old, does it?
No, it doesn't. And with this honor guard coming in, you can still hear the crowd sort of silenced a bit.
And I think they're surprised too. Hey, the parade's here.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and we had heard from our folks, our people, that, you know, they were making great progress and were flying toward the Superdome. There had been years past where they got here at 9 or quarter to 9 and just stopped.
Yep, not tonight.
Not tonight. Marine Band, New Orleans. Established October 1st, 1978.
From the perspective of coming in these doors, it's always great when the door is open because you know something's coming, but imagine being this group coming into this crowd.
And don't think they're not tired. This is not the first parade they've been in.
And you know, this is something new above. Do you see the earth above, or is it the moon
I
above?
think that has something to do with the science theme. Huh?
The moon above.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Remain standing as the Marine Corps Band plays our national anthem.
Nobody plays it better.
The Marine Corps Band, New Orleans, with our national anthem. And Arthur, that means that it's time for, I think one of the highlights of Mardi Gras every year is the police units, the NOPD and other first responders, other police units from around the area as they parade in on motorcycles.
Here they come. Hope you hear these sirens are pretty loud.
I love this.
Yes, they are.
Let's hear it again, ladies and gentlemen, for the United States, New Orleans Marine Corps Band.
Well, there's no sense trying to talk when that happens, even though our microphones are, about an inch away from our mouths, because you can't possibly communicate in this place.
But this
what a sight.
Really gets the crowd ready for something big, and it will be an amazing sight. For folks who haven't seen Endymion, well, they'll be shocked. For folks who have, they'll just be delighted.
Well, quite a few people here who apparently have never seen this before. The Wise Guys, the opening band for Mama and the best brass section in New Orleans. The lead singer said, hey, how many of you, this is your first extravaganza? And a lot of hands went up. So for some people, this is their first experience.
I was surprised by that.
I was too. You know, there's a tremendous repeat crowd every year, and you wonder if it's just happenstance or the entertainment lineup, which is pretty darn hot tonight. But a lot of new folks are here, and they're going to be in for a big treat.
Well, it's kind of great because we take it for granted sometimes. We've seen it so many
Sure.
years, and of course we know how beautiful it is, but to see it through someone else's eyes where it's fresh,
I think you're right.
it's amazing.
Well, it's not free. It takes a little commitment. Obviously, a lot of people here are friends, relatives, spouses of riders, but, you know, it attracts people from really around the country.
It really does, and this is why Endymion can afford to finance this magnificent multi-million-dollar parade, because they have this large venue where they can sell a lot of tickets, make money, pay, you know, international famous entertainment, and that's what makes it work.
The Endymion letters.
Isn't this
Two
neat?
walking heads following the letters.
So the Walking Heads, which normally would kick off the parading units of the Endymion, are following this year a new addition, as they just announced in the public address system, the Endymion letters, which, true to Endymion form, they've got everything in order, and they've spelled it in the right order.
For right now, yeah. Spelled backwards, that's Naomi.
We get the message no matter what the letters say, but I tell you, Rob Krieger and Tiffany Wong have the best standing seats in the house. Let's go to them.
Right, Nancy, we are down here on the floor of the Superdome. Tiffany Wong with me here. How you doing, Tiff?
The energy is amazing down here. The crowd was already riled up when the music was playing, and now that the parade's starting, everyone's super excited.
Check those letters out, walking through the new edition. I like that. What do you think? It's
colorful. I like it.
It sets the scene for the parade as we get ready to just really experience something else. Tiffany, I know this is your first time down here on the floor with me. It is. I know that you've been preparing, but it's hard to prepare for when those floats come in and the beads just start showering down like thunderstorms.
I know.
Incredible.
I'm a little afraid, but I'm gonna try to catch as many throws as I can.
Oh, the Walking Heads. Hello, Walking Heads. There they go by.
I love all the lights. The lights are beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the Talladega.
So we're going to have the parade of bands coming through here. The Talladega Band, Talladega College, they are incredible. We will have these incredible bands come through. It is going to be something else now. Talladega Band, they have been here, a part of Endymion for several years now. They walked in inauguration parades in Washington, D.C. The band was prominently featured in the Honda Battle of the Bands and placed as one of the final 8 in 2015. So you better believe this is going to be a nice show here.
And they're coming in right now. Let's take a listen.
Coming around the corner.
So this year's band has 300 plus playing musicians, and they're going to have a spectacular display leading up to the rest of the parade.
prayer. Tiffany, what do you think?
Love
That
song.
was something
that
else.
That was impressive. Especially standing right in front of them. It's an amazing experience.
Oh, they have more.
Alcorn State University, now the Dynamite Marching Band. Alcorn State is making its 5th trip to Mardi Gras for this year's Endymion Parade. The band was prominently featured in the Honda Battle of the Bands and placed as one of the final 8 in both 2016 and 2017. The Alcorn State University.
And again, that was more than
Sounds of
300
Dynamite
players.
Marching
So that's
Band.
incredible to see them all in sync like that.
The lights, the sounds, the stage is set for an incredible night tonight, and that was just the beginning, the first little taste of what we can expect with the parade of bands marching through. Coming up, we've got Alcorn State coming in right now. We all know about Alcorn State. They are going to impress all of these beautifully dressed people here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Coming around the bend right now when they get here. We'll take a listen in. Tiffany, this is just so much fun to be right here on the edge
really
of
is.
the parade.
Especially for my
seeing all
first
this.
experience, this is really nothing beats this.
All right, well, as Alcorn State walks by, we're going to toss it back up to John and Nancy. Wow, look at those moves.
Listen here for a moment.
This is one of the great things we're going to see. This.
Please welcome the Texas Southern Ocean of Soul Marching Band. The Texas Southern University Ocean of Soul Marching Band make its 4th trip to Mardi Gras.
Talladega band last night.
This band also featured a participant in the prestigious Honda Battle of the Bands. It's known for their impressive sound and renowned drum line. The Texas Southern University Ocean of Soul Marching Band.
So you may have figured out at home that one of the things they do here is they put the bands up front and don't intersperse in the way that they used to or the way that the people around the parade routes use. So our experience is quite different. We're going to spend a lot of time just listening into these great
Please
bands.
welcome the Virginia Military Institute, Regimental and Bagpipe Marching Unit.
And when they get to the main dais, they give it their all. They blow as hard as they can, and it's hard to hear anything else. Let's listen in.
Our next band is the University of West Alabama Scarlet Band from Tigerland. The University of West Alabama is making its 4th appearance in New Orleans Mardi Gras. It's a veteran and Mobile Mardi Gras.
I don't know if you heard the public address announcer say it's a veteran, this band, the Western Alabama band, veteran of Mobile Mardi Gras. It's a little bit different experience there in Mobile.
Yeah, it's quite a bit different. Yeah, we can talk about Mobile later. This is all New Orleans tonight, and after these fine college bands go through, they start with the high school.
The Fort Valley State University Blue Marching Band. The Fort Valley State Marching Band is making their 2nd trip to Endymion after participating in the 2015 parade.
You know, Arthur, you notice the walking heads? There is something new with the walking heads. They're lit up all inside this year.
Really
and they
neat.
weren't lit up that way last year. They were outlined, but how beautiful are they?
Yeah, every year they come up with something new, an improvement,
Yeah.
a little twist on whatever they've done in the past.
So gorgeous.
Well, they always say the planning for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade begins, before Christmas for the following year, and they're working on it in March.
Oh,
later this
absolutely.
month.
Yeah.
In fact, I think they're working sometimes on the 2021 parade.
Yeah, they've got it planned a few years out for sure.
Please welcome the St. Augustine High School Marching 100.
And you can hear the crowd. That's just great to hear. The crowd react to the announcement that here come the Marching 100, one of the great high school bands in all of America.
And it
from
means
St.
a lot
Aug.
to those kids, too, believe me.
It's become one of the most renowned high school bands in the United States. This represents the 52 consecutive year that the band has marched in Endymion, and they are only one of 2 bands that have marched in every single Endymion parade. The St. Augustine High School Marching 100 Marching Band. Please welcome the Warren Easton High School Marching Band.
And the other thing, of course, Arthur, is these kids get to eat anything they want tomorrow.
They're going to be tired.
The Warren Easton High School Marching Band.
How many miles is it, Arthur? Have you figured
It's
that out?
about 5 miles.
Okay.
But you're playing the entire time for the most part, and several hours you get tired, but the minute they hit the back of the dome, the energy comes back to you somehow.
Well, I mean, what a rush it is to come into, for the riders too, for everybody who participates, just to come into Mardi Gras' biggest show, let's face it.
And they know refreshments are close.
Oh, yeah.
After all of this. Warren Easton has special ties to your heart, doesn't it?
Oh, indeed. I'm an alum and on the board of directors over there. It's a charter school now and doing quite well. We're proud of them. And the girls won the state basketball championship last night, so that's a nice thing, too.
New Orleans' oldest public school.
You are right. And both St. Aug and Warren Easton will be in the Rex Parade on Tuesday.
From Dominion High School. The Dems are marching with the Brother Martin High School Crusader Band.
Do you think they'll rest up by then?
No, indeed. Ash Wednesday is when they rest.
Have marched in several Endymion parades. Go Satyrs, go Dems.
When you're in here, I don't know how it comes across on television, but when you're in here, it's like a segue of music where one band comes and kind of dominates, it goes away, and you kind of, then here comes the next one.
Along with the Dominion Dems.
And it's sometimes hard for the bands because they're hearing the other band bouncing off the other side of the wall, so you really have to pay attention.
And this is pretty neat. Brother Martin has lighted drums.
Yep,
I love it.
They started that a couple years ago.
As a Crusader mom past?
Yep, well.
Once a Crusader mom, always a Crusader mom.
Yeah, and I was affiliated with that school a long time ago for about 16 years, and fond memories. They're doing quite well.
Please welcome the St. Mary's Academy Marching Band. St. Mary's Academy Marching Band has a performance of Girl Power. This represents the 52nd consecutive year the band has marched in Endymion, and they have only 2 bands along with St. Aug
some of the great high school bands in Louisiana, and I was with some people from Illinois last night, and said, and you know, Talladega came through, and some of these other great college bands came through.
Yeah.
And then I turned and said, listen to this high school band.
They don't believe it, do they? A lot of preparation goes into this, and the kids love it.
And when they have college aspirations, they come from a band like St. Aug or Warren Eastern. Those things, their way is paved because they know how well they can play.
Yep, they can get music scholarships. In fact, the drum major at LSU is a Brother Martin student from last year.
Absolutely.
John and Nancy, the only thing I can compare coming into the dome as a band musician or a band director is the old days when parades used to go into French Quarter. When you turned off of Canal Street into Royal and French Quarter, no matter how tired you were, the energy level it was a different world. The tiny streets, the sound bouncing off the walls, the balconies that could almost touch the floats. This is very similar in terms of the energy level, I think.
Once again, the Salmon High School Marching Spartan Band.
Well, I think for a lot of these kids, too, it's their first time on the Superdome floor. And there's something, you know, I think a lot of people, obviously, for various reasons, have been on the Superdome floor, but there's something about being on the Superdome floor during an event where there are people in the stands.
Yeah, it's magic. It really is. And seeing your name in lights on the school, that's really something.
I think you had it though. It's more like, wait, what song are we playing?
Yeah.
Versus that other band?
Yeah. It's such a nice pace to this too. They really do a great job. John?
Well, gee, I think that would be Captain Endymion, I believe.
I hope so. Oh, maybe
there's one more.
Maybe one more band.
Not a straggler. There's a good, interesting choreography here.
You know, one of the things I like about this, and I'm a real sports fan, but unlike athletics, we're pulling against the team, the 4 team. Here, everybody's celebrating each band. You know, it's some competition, but it's just nice to enjoy all of them in an atmosphere like this. They each do their own thing, a lot of pride in what they're doing, but the crowd really appreciates this.
The Windsor Forest High School Marching Band.
After hearing about Endymion for years, this Windsor Forest Band is showcasing its sounds on the streets of New Orleans for the first time. So they're one of the bands walking into this and going, what?
Yeah, I don't recall ever seeing this band marching the Mardi Gras program.
Yeah.
And you know, once you get a band here for this, you can't get rid of it. They want to come back every year because it's such a positive experience. We've got visitors like that, huh? Come from Mardi Gras, don't leave.
Exactly.
Move here. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard stories.
Oh, it's true.
We should not be too far from the captain's float. Sometimes it takes a little regrouping before the floats start coming in. And when they come at a rapid-fire pace.
They do, and I'm not sure if Ed Muniz is riding as captain tonight or if he has a sub. I didn't get the latest word on that. But he'll certainly be honored tonight for all that he's done.
Sometimes he likes to watch from
that's right.
the grandstand here.
Well, that's called the captain's table.
Exactly.
Where about 500 of his closest friends. It's actually about 5 rows of tables. But it's an honored spot to get up there. Even our passes, media passes, say no captain's table access. So it's for very special people, VIPs, all of them.
The two of you talking about people coming to Mardi Gras and just deciding to live here. I had a friend from college I picked up at the airport about 20-some odd years ago, and we're riding in. He says, "What a great town." I looked at him, I said, "You haven't seen anything yet." He had fallen in love with the place at the airport.
We're on the airline highway.
Right, exactly. We're taking the Orleans Avenue exit. What a great town.
Oh, yeah.
You're like Cannon. Wait till you see the French Quarter.
He saw the praline shop in the airport and went crazy. Oh.
No, there's so many stories of people who have met here at Mardi Gras and got married. You know, not instantly, but friendships that have developed into something else that lasted a lifetime.
All right, another parade is taking place at the moment. The parade across the crossover.
Yep.
As people go to and from the restroom, because we await the arrival of the captain of Endymion. I guess technically the captain has been at the door in the 9 o'clock range, but I think I counted Fox 8 has been doing this, I believe, for 34 years now.
Wow.
There may be another time when we had an 8:20 arrival, maybe when there was a pouring rainstorm and they just flew through the streets, but I remember no time when they were this early.
This early, no.
Yeah,
And I hope we keep it going. And thankfully, they're not fighting the rain tonight.
But the nice thing is, at this early pace, the riders will have a chance to get off the floats, regroup, kind of get themselves together, and enjoy the show that they've waited so long for. And we have a great lineup, like you said, tonight. Flo Rida, Lionel Richie, Chicago, not in that order, but...
By the way, the marching knights are going around again.
Apparently. This is so much fun, we're not going to go home.
It's such a big room, we missed the exit.
Yeah.
Well, this is their first time here, so they got to get it on.
There you go.
Might as well. Now watch, next year all the New Orleans band's going to say, "Hey, I want to go around twice too." They may actually have asked them to come around again
to fill the gap.
Stall a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Time before we went on the air, I was observing the crowd, and of course everybody now has a cell phone, and I can't believe how many selfies and pictures people are taking with their cell phones to kind of commemorate. They said, well, you know, you're all dressed up, why not? You know, and it's just nice to see people having so much fun. Some of it perhaps alcohol inspired, but nevertheless, they're having a great time out here tonight.
one of the last days before the big party on Fat Tuesday, but this is such a different kind of party that this Super Crew weekend that we're having, it's just such a different experience than even Tuesday will be.
Yeah, it is in some ways. Well, there's no question about it. The hotel occupancy is higher. There are more people that see the parades on this weekend than on Fat Tuesday. But that's okay. It's a different crowd, a different purpose, really.
Well, strangely, in the rest of the country, it's Tuesday, and some
Please
bosses
welcome
expect
Oklahoma.
you to show up to work.
Tiger Marching Band.
Well, we've got more bands.
The Tiger Marching Band is making your second appearance in parade in 2019. They'll be busy in the streets of New Orleans marching in the Mid-City Parade tomorrow morning. The Oklahoma Community College Marching Band.
But I think that's part of the magic of it too, don't you? Is the idea that every one of these nights, beginning almost now with Wednesday night before, has their own parade that's a headliner and their own personality to the evening.
Exactly.
Bacchus is just different enough from Endymion that it's a different experience, different route.
They each have their own characteristics, and every year you hear ratings of who's the best parade. I don't know how you can pick it because they each do their own thing and to greater or lesser degrees of success, and everybody tries to put on a good parade.
As I mentioned, I saw Hermes last night on Canal Street. It had been a few years since I actually watched a parade on Canal Street. It's a great parade.
It's one of the most beautiful night or day parades. It's just really magnificent.
And each time Endymion sort of raises the bar on, I think, everyone.
It does. Yep.
Now Bacchus has all these beautiful animated floats that I've never seen before.
Every year something new.
Something. Well, as we await the arrival of the captain of Endymion, we'll take just a short break and be back with more of the Endymion extravaganza.
This is a Fox 8 special, the Endymion Parade and Extravaganza, with John Snell and Nancy Parker. Sponsored in part by Hancock Whitney, Beads by the Dozen, and Mardi Gras World.
Almost 10 miles of fiber optics.
We are back. And those are fireworks heralding the captain's float.
Wow.
What an amazing display.
Yeah, that's something. That's something.
Indoor fireworks in the Superdome. You don't beat that.
This 2-unit float
And a fleur-de-lis display at the top of pyrotechnics.
Captain Endymion
Nice touch.
leads his huge crew for the 53rd time. A remarkable achievement and one that is likely never to be duplicated. The longest reigning captain in Mardi Gras history. All hail the captain of Endymion.
Ed Nunez can't even believe this. When he rolls into this dome, even though he's been doing it more than 50 years, he can't believe the sight of all these people. He says it's amazing how it all began as just a little teeny gentility parade, and now look at this.
Yeah, he deserves all the credit in the world for what he's done, not just for Endymion, but for Mardi Gras, really.
Please welcome Captain Ed Nunez. All hail the captain of Endymion.
What a sight.
As the kids say, he's a bad man. To be able to do all this.
In a good way.
Exactly.
He sure is. He sure is.
Bailey Elizabeth Depro, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Darrell Charles Depro of New Orleans. Her costume represents the filmmaker George Millai's The Indian Sorcerer. Miss Bailey Elizabeth Depro. Our second maid is Linda Catherine Tillis, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jesse Tillis of Pearland, Texas. Her costume represents the French silent film, Kingdom of the Fairies. Our third maid is Olivia Molosov Garrett, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jason Kennedy Garrett of Katy, Texas. Her costume represents George Millai's The Merryman of 1904. The fourth maid is Haley Danielle Simpson, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Mark Daniel Simpson of Goshen, Kentucky. Her costume represents the French silent film Egyptian Fantasy. Ladies and gentlemen, our Queen of Endymion, reigning over the crew in its annual festivities, Her Royal Majesty Alexander Madeline Kinney. Queen Alexander is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Frank Peter Kenny of Las Vegas, Nevada. A sophomore at Tulane University, majoring in communications. Our Queen, Alexandra Madeline Kenny.
All right, John Snell along with Nancy Parker and Arthur Hardy here in the Superdome. And we have some very sad news to bring you, and that is that there has been an accident. A vehicle plowing into some pedestrians in the Bayou St. John area, and we are told 2 fatalities.
Yeah, it happened at Bayou St. John and Esplanade. We were told that 2 people are dead. Just a vehicle hitting pedestrians. At first, injuries were reported, so we don't know how many injuries there are from that accident, but we know there have been 2 fatalities. And it's quite a pall on the whole night when something like this happens. Hopefully we'll get more information on it.
Especially coming as it does a couple years after the other incident where there was a similar episode. In this case, there are a couple of fatalities there. We have a crew on the way to the scene. We hope to bring you more information as we get it. And something you hate to see. We don't have a lot of information about it, Arthur.
Not on the parade route.
No.
But
no, good point.
But it's still a tragedy nonetheless, and it's really a shame.
No, I think that's a good point. Worth noting. We should emphasize wasn't on the parade route itself, and this information kind of just breaking and getting to us from our newsroom.
It's at the 3200 block of Esplanade Avenue. 2 victims were struck at that location. So, yeah, you're right. The fact that it wasn't on the parade route, but still, I guess traffic is so incredibly busy at this time, and we don't know if that was on purpose or not, or if it was an accident. We don't know much information about it, but we'll try to get to.
And obviously, anything's wrapped up in the context of this day and people out celebrating, even if they're not at it. We'll basically stop there because we don't have a lot more information other than that. But we will back at the newsroom. They are working feverishly. We have a crew on there. On the way to it, we'll get more information as we can. In the meantime, we'll be back with more of our coverage of the Endymion extravaganza.
This is a Fox 8 special, the Endymion Parade and Extravaganza, with John Snell and Nancy Parker. Sponsored in part by Hancock Whitney, Beads by the Dozen, and Mardi Gras World.
You know, events like traffic accidents and other emergencies remind us of how important first responders are in our lives. And one of the very nice things that Endymion is doing tonight is saluting some first responders.
Really neat. The second Grand Marshal, a collection of New Orleans first responders.
I just spotted Ed Munez on the floor greeting people. He has gotten off of the float already, and he's ready to enjoy this night that they've worked so hard for.
Over the last year and over the last half century, for that matter.
Well, one quite larger.
We are watching the beautiful floats from up here, but Tiffany and Rob Krieger are down below for all the action is, guys.
Man, I gotta tell you, being down here on the floor, it is incredible. The amount of people out here.
Dancing, catching throws.
Got some glow sticks already. What do you think so far? The shower of beads coming down?
I didn't expect the whole little fire explosion, the bubbles coming out. That was amazing.
I know. When those fireworks started going off, I tell you what, that got me super hyped. And the hundreds of people that are in here, wow, they started going and they are ready for this. They're ready for the beads.
And seeing the king and queen up close, that was amazing. Her outfit was beautiful.
The flow rider came by. His flow, I like to call him today float rider.
Can't wait to see him perform tonight.
He is going to be awesome. We have another a double-decker coming by here in a minute. When the float comes by, everyone lights up. The hands are in the air, waving around like they just don't care.
Wow, this is a big one.
And the thing about Endymion is, if you think this is big, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is the Welcome to Mardi Gras float. It's a 2-unit signature float that carries 108 riders, all of them from Baton Rouge. They call themselves the Yats, and they do know how to have a great time.
And so this float also has a huge gesture head. As you can see, it's coming through right now up front. It has over 9,000 illuminating fibers, and you can really see that. The eyes are glowing, the nose, the hat.
It certainly pops right here in the dome. Let's get ready for this one because they are going to throw till it hurts. That's their motto.
I'm a little nervous. I am a little nervous.
You nervous, Tim? I got you. Don't worry. All right, let's see what we can get. Glow sticks, light ups, beads, right here. Yeah! Focus on the mister. Oh, here we go.
These are some big beads.
Yeah. Right there, right there.
Oh, wow, there's frisbees.
Here comes it. It's the art of the catch. You have to lock eyes with someone. Let them know you want it.
Let's make some eye contact.
And then, yes, there it is.
Ah!
Oh,
that was a lot.
Here you go. Oh. Tip, you gotta get your hands up higher. We almost had some good stuff. There you go. The best part, oh, thank you so much. We're making friends out here. Look at this. The best part about being inside the dome when these floats come through is this is the last hurrah for them. If they got anything left, they got to get rid of it now. And they are doing that in droves.
And now it's the Wonder Tales of science fiction coming through.
This is the title float. So the theme this year, Wonder Tales of Science Fiction. It is we're going to have the opportunity to see some really incredibly cool designs, some great stuff.
They're going to have some comedy masks, and the front has over 7,000 illuminated fibers.
So the parade's theme this year highlights the creative late Victorian period from the mid-1800s to the first decade of the 1900s, during which time great imaginary thinking and concepts began to shape the 20th century. I think you and I have a pretty good imagination.
These LED lights look amazing in here, especially when it just lights up the dome.
They really twinkle. Now we're stuck in between two floats right here. Let's see if we can get an attention from some of the riders over here. All right, yes, footballs. It's got to be fun to just really...
I want to catch the plush soft item.
Okay. All right, that's what we're going for. That's what we're going for. We've got to give a shout out to the tractor drivers too, because they are sitting up front. They're pulling the crews. They're doing some great work today.
Everyone down here is having a great time. They're grooving while catching some beads.
There are glow sticks everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, here comes the title float. Up close and personal. Let's see if we can get some success.
All right, let's try it again.
Here it is. Hey, throw this on the mister!
Yes, I got one.
There you go. Right there, right there. Oh, look at this. There you go. Right there. Oh, I failed to catch that.
That was
Oh
close.
my gosh.
Oh, they're just stopped right here right
They're
now, right in
stopped.
front of us.
This is.
Oh, I want that one.
Oh, you want that one?
Lit up.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
man.
You gotta want it, Tiff. You gotta want it. Here you go.
People are standing up on chairs. I feel like they have better leverage. Oh,
Yes! Yes! You got one. Nice. It's just there's nothing like when the float stops right in front of you, because it gives them so much time.
so many chances to catch something.
Everybody just wants to catch something. Here we go, right there. Service on the mister. Yes.
Oh,
Wow.
Pink
Look
colors.
at this. Check this out, Matt. Get a look at this.
It's black gold. Yes!
Yes! Thank you, sir. What a great catch, Jiminy. We've got these incredible looking beads right here. I tell you what, with our gold sequins on,
Imagine.
drip or drown, Tiff. And I think we're dripping tonight. This is incredible.
I tried the whole eye contact thing, and I think it worked.
Did it work? You make the eye contact, you point, you say, I want that, I want that.
I didn't do that. I
Having
wasn't
some
that aggressive.
sparkly sequins, it doesn't hurt. Gets their attention. Oh yeah, right here.
I want something lit up right now.
We're having too much fun down here, Tiffany. We need to concentrate a little bit more on getting those glow sticks, the light ups.
Hopefully
Oh,
next
look
time
at
we
this,
come back,
the
we'll get
swords.
that.
There's so much fun stuff out there. John and Nancy, we're gonna toss it back up to you so we can hone our catching game.
Oh, that sounds good. I want to see how folks around you are handling it too. If they're getting all the beads, knocking them out like we used to when we were down there. Look at all these beautiful lights, John. This is what it's all about.
Well, and Arthur and I were just talking about that earlier. The theme that Rob made reference to a little while ago is Wonder Tales of Science Fiction, and a focus on the kind of the Jules Verne era in the late 19th century, around the turn of the last century, and some of the early science fiction stories and early science fiction films. It's you know, you go to Endymion expecting to catch mounds and mounds of plastic, and you come away learning something.
Yeah, this is an educational parade. This is not TV's greatest hits. This is the first theme float called Fairyland, the Kingdom of the Fairies. Beautiful, 1903. Lovely float.
We're going to see so many more gorgeous creations, but we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more of the Endymion extravaganza in a moment.
This is a Fox 8 special the Endymion Parade and Extravaganza with John Snell and Nancy Parker. Sponsored in part by Hancock Whitney, Beads by the Dozen, and Mardi Gras World.
Happy Mardi Gras! Almost. This is the weekend before Mardi Gras, and wow, look at the floats coming in now. We're looking at float 13. The Palace of the Arabian Nights is coming around the bend, I think, but there's so many gorgeous floats with this theme of science fiction, the wonders of science fiction.
So we were talking about that a little bit earlier, Arthur, and kind of this tribute that they're doing to Georges Méliès, kind of a forgotten figure in filmmaking. He would be Steven Spielberg today, but he made a lot of the very famous, groundbreaking films that they are. About half of this parade really is a tribute to this gentleman who's kind of lost and forgotten. First person to use a dissolve in films. First person to use little superimpositions, and a lot of other techniques we would take for granted today.
And he was a magician. When it all started, he was a magician, and he wanted to kind of transport that onto film. He died penniless, without anything, and most of his films were in storage. And you know what happens when you don't go pick up your stuff from storage?
Yes.
They burned it and destroyed it, and it's just because people pirated a lot of these films that they were saved and they were able to see them.
And we don't know what we might have lost.
No.
I'm quite sure artistic director Henri Schindler had something to do with this theme. And, you know, Captain Endymion very wisely, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago, hired Henri, who does the Rex Parade, Hermes, Babylon, and used to do Comus, and is somewhat of a traditionalist, and really brought, I think, a new level, not just of the quality of the themes, but the character of the themes. You know, the parade's to be enjoyed, but you also can learn something. You don't normally think about going to a Mardi Gras parade and getting a history lesson, but this is that tonight and more.
It's very cerebral, and you have to really think about it. When you're seeing the floats, they're just neat looking and very gorgeous, but if you go back and kind of look at what they mean, it really will awaken a lot.
It would be a great school project, you know. In fact, I know the Rex organization does.
Sure.
They've got Rex in the classroom where the students can design a parade, study what's being done, make suggestions, and it's really cool. But most of all, it's fun, and people tonight are just having a fabulous time here.
Well, and you know, even if you don't think about it, even if you come to the parade and concentrate on plastic, it still is nice to mix it up. If you ran with the same 34 floats or 42 floats every time, it would get a little, you know.
And people would notice, believe me, they would. You know, these floats are really awe-inspiring, just some beautiful things. And of course, we've got to give Barry Kern Artists all the credit in the world. They execute this parade, they build this parade, and have for a very long time. And I think it's the smartest thing Ed ever did was stop renting floats and get together with Kern, at that time Blaine Kern Sr., and they decided they wanted to be like Bacchus, and indeed they have.
I'm always amazed they have anything left to throw.
I think they saved some things from the dome. But as Rob said earlier, whatever's left, they don't want to take it home. So they unload here, and you'll see people coming in with these giant 90-gallon garbage bags to put their throws in and haul them home.
I wish we could go forward in time for about 10 or 15 years to see what these floats will look like. Because if they get much better than this, I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know what's next, but Barry Kern says he has some things up his sleeve, and I believe him. Look at the track record.
Soon they'll be flying floats.
Yeah.
Throw till it hurts. That's their motto.
You know, last year at this time, we were worried about rain. There was a lightning storm right outside the dome with some floats still out there, and we were concerned. But this year, weather's not a factor. That may not be the case tomorrow. But tonight, things are under control here weather-wise.
But I'll tell you what, in the meantime, as we watch from up here, unfortunately, far from any throws, Rob and Tiffany might be in self-defense mode down there, guys.
A little self-defense mode, maybe perhaps a little finesse tripping happening down here as well. Everyone everyone is feeling good right now because we're stuck on a float and it's right in front of us. That means they are ready to throw. Arthur, you said it, throw till it hurts. They don't want to go home with any of this stuff.
No, but no one's having more fun than Roy Lynn over here, right? Roy Lynn, it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, it's a wonderful birthday. I know so many people that have had to get it in the Superdome.
What other way to celebrate than like this, front and center in front of all these floats?
Have you been to Endymion before?
Oh, yeah. I've been coming for the past maybe 10 years.
What's it like to be up here on the front?
Oh, my God. It is amazing. You just can't imagine. So colorful, loud. They go nuts on the float. You get bombarded. I mean, it's just amazing. Nothing like on the street. Totally different.
We were talking earlier. Obviously, you have several thousand of your closest friends here to celebrate your birthday, but it's been pushed back because your birthday's in March. You rarely get the opportunity to double dip Mardi Gras and your birthday. Tell us how you're feeling tonight.
I mean, it's rare that it's this far back, but I get so excited. I had to get into the dome on my birthday. I just had to.
And who's out here with you tonight?
What?
Who's out here with you tonight?
Oh my God, I got my daughter, my daughter-in-law, a friend, my other daughter, my husband. There's 12 of us here.
Let's see those gloves, because those are something special.
Oh my God, I love my gloves. Love my gloves.
That's got to help with catching, huh?
Oh yeah, they blink. Gotta have them.
I love the LED lights you have in them.
Wait, they change colors, so look.
That's amazing.
All right, so tell us, who are you looking forward to seeing tonight? Chicago, Lionel?
Lionel Richie, but Chicago. Love Chicago.
Have you ever seen any of them perform before?
Absolutely. Every time they come, I go see Chicago. I did a meet and greet. I got to meet them all. I love them.
What song do you want them to sing tonight?
Oh, Make Me Smile, Color My World, 25 or 6 to 4.
I hate to take away the biggest part of you, but we may need to leave you now. We're going to come back and talk to you a little later. Let's go find some more people dancing out here. Let's move around a little bit. We're going to have to squeeze through. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Ladies, how y'all doing?
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
All right,
we're so many throws.
We're stuck here on a float right now. What's it like to be where the float's not moving, they just throw it?
Amazing, bright, spectacular, very loud, vibrant and loud.
And do you guys have any, special tactics that you guys use to catch throws? No. I don't have any. I just smile and I wave a lot. You're doing a great job.
All right, look, let's see if we can get these guys to throw us something. Let's get their attention right here. All right, guys, we're looking at you right here. Throw it for the camera. Oh, they're cheesing. They're cheesing up there.
Are those LSU colored footballs?
Oh, and I see there's a tiger tail on the footballs. They're holding it up. They're holding it up. They're gonna throw it. Oh yeah, we got a little action over here. What's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
Doing great.
What do you love about this?
Everything. It's just great. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, it's fun out here. Everybody's having a good time. I see you got a spinner.
I got a fidget spinner. Yes.
That is awesome.
I know.
And it's got lights in it and everything. We're gonna try and catch some of those tonight.
Did you catch that?
No, I was like flirting with the tractor guy and he gave it to me.
That's one way to get beads.
That's true.
That is one way to get beads. All right, let's see what else we can do over here. Whoa, here goes the float.
It's moving again.
Now it's moving. The throwing will resume.